Alrighty, waiting for YouTube to catch up. Still waiting for YouTube to catch up. Still waiting. Still waiting for YouTube. There we go. Now we have sound. All right. And let's go. This is Answering Your Financial Questions Live, number 76 with Coach Steve Money. That's me. All right. It is 78 degrees here on the Coach Steve Money weather dial. And I need to get out into that, which I will do right after I finish this stream. All right. What can I talk about? Oh, let's give myself a plug here. This is just a little bit of my newest Ramsey adjacent song, and it is based on That's What Makes You Beautiful, and it's called That's What Gives Financial Peace. Let's listen to a second of it. Not long enough to be copyright infringed, of course. I see you stressed. I'm hashtag blessed. Just like me, you can be out of this mess. I see that frown that's got you down, but you can turn your whole life right around. Okay, that's enough. Hopefully that's not enough to get copyright flag there. Alrighty. You can check that out in my music playlist, which is all the way down here under the Answering Your Financial Questions. Then there's a music playlist. So again, 8, I think, Ramsey adjacent songs in there. So check those out if you're so inclined. Also the Ramsey Show After Show, which we have coming up. 2 of them, April 3rd and April 18th. And so check those out, where I do some of what I'm going to do today on Answering Your Financial Questions, which is just answer questions from the Dave Ramsey subreddit. But also I do talk about other things on there, like the market and so forth. News, financial news stories and so forth. Alrighty. Thanks to whoever's watching. Thank you so very much. Alrighty, so I've already opened up the first question because it had more than shows here. Let's see. Doing the 5 baby steps as a new college grad. Okay, well, first of all, there's 7 of them. Baby step 2 flare, so can't skip baby step 2. Maybe the person already had $1,000, so he's skipping that one and doesn't have a house or kids, so skipping that one. So that's still all right. So maybe he left some out because they don't apply to him. I don't know. Let's find out. Or her. Let's see. Icy Reflection 931 is this person. Hi all. Hi guys. I was wondering if maybe any of you had some advice for a fresh college grad. I graduated last May, who is single and beginning Dave Ramsey's 5 baby step program. Again, there's 7. I think they go up to 7 in college still. I'm halfway through his complete money makeover, total money makeover. All right, and feeling so inspired. I give him a break if he's new. He might be new. I wanted to see if any of you were also recent college graduates who were not making much money and successfully paid their debts, and if you had some specific advice after seeing some of my budget. Thank you. All right, budget review coming up. I graduated college last spring with $72,000 in private loans. I know, eek, but I've reached acceptance of my past mistakes and I'm willing to live like no one else until I live like no one else. Excellent. That party's got down. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology and by the grace of God secured a good job at a university a couple months after graduation, making $42,000. I was given a raise and now make $47,000, which has helped tremendously with giving me the ability to save. I'm also trying as hard as I can to earn an extra $1,000 each month to put solely onto my loans. Great. I use savings to pay off $4,000 as of my smallest loans. Great, in full, and now I have $68 $1,000 in loans to go. I'm listing my expenses below and wondering if any of you have feedback, as I'm very much trying to live below my means, but I also wasn't necessarily taught that means growing up, and I'm wondering if I would be considered as that. Well, you're an adult, assuming, unless you did like a Sheldon Cooper type thing and you graduate college at 14, or Doogie Howser or something like that. So I'm assuming you would be an adult, but it takes some people way past 18 to actually become an adult, other than legally wise. Monthly income $3,000. Rent including heat $1,095. That's not bad. I guess depending on what area you are in. $30 electric. Religious about not wasting utilities and usually keep it very low. Same brother or sister. Wi-Fi $50. Car insurance $120. Used car, no payment. Drive it till the wheels come off. That's right. Phone $50. You could go lower than that, but that's not, if that's your only problem, then don't. But Mint Mobile, I would suggest. Renter's insurance $11.99. That's fine. Groceries $150. That's a month, and so yeah, that's not bad at all. That is what, try to do early, easy math. That's 30 would be 120, so like 40, less than 40 times 4 is 160. Yeah, so like $40 a week, right? Primarily shop at Aldi and keep it very cheap. So far it's fine. I can't really nitpick, except maybe the phone you could go down on, and what was anything else? Maybe the rent, but if you're going to save $100, it's probably not worth moving. Gas $100, just kind of combine trips as much as you can. Savings $200. You should have $1,000 in savings. Maybe that's why you call it the 5 baby steps, because you skipped step 1, which is save $1,000 in your full emergency fund. Let's see, I've been taking any extra money and putting it towards any of my loans, and then frivolous stuff like clothes and going out with friends, which I'm ready to completely stop and dedicate solely to my loans. Yep, that's what you do. It's just for a hashtag season. I am currently dog sitting, door dashing, and trying to get into cleaning commercial properties. Interesting, as side hustles, but I'm just not seeing enough money that doesn't get eaten by the interest. Yeah, interest do take a bite. That's why you shouldn't take loans out in the first place. I am waiting now to hear back about a couple bartending jobs down the street. Okay, so he's hustling. Every day he's hustling, or she. Do any of you have any recommendations as far as how to make the money stretch a little further, or just words of wisdom in general? Sometimes it can be discouraging because a lot of Dave's testimonials are from 2 married people tackling a debt together. So it feels like it will take so long for me. It also makes me so anxious to only have $1,000 in my emergency fund. So you shouldn't have the $200 in addition to it unless it's for like known upcoming expenses. Unless it's a sinking fund that you're going to have to cash flow it somehow, so it doesn't matter if you save it ahead of time. It shouldn't be like for something coming up 2 years from now, it should be put to debt. But if like you're going to need tires in 6 months, if you need to start putting a little bit away so you have enough to buy tires in 6 months, then that's fine. Only have $1,000 in my emergency fund as things are so expensive and I am all alone. Thank you all so much. Edit, just realized I wrote 5 baby steps. I completely meant 7. Okay, fair enough. Saved it at the end there. Saved it at the end. All right. So yeah, I'm not seeing anything bad. You just have to live like you're a broke college student still. Like before you got that job. You live on as little as you can, and you're trying to work extra and so forth. So you're doing everything right. Wonderful to have the first question be? Somebody doing everything really good except messing up the number, just like I did talking there. Messing up the number of the baby steps. So, just trying to look to see if I missed anything. I mean, you're probably not going to get internet much cheaper than $50. Car insurance, you got to have car insurance. You could save a little, you know, maybe 30, 35 bucks on the phone by doing Mint Mobile instead. I think you're doing fine on groceries. You could try to cut out a little bit. You know, every little bit helps. Like even if you went down to 140 from 150, just by buying like one different item to try to cut down. You do whatever you can. And so hopefully this monthly income doesn't include side hustles, and you're making even more with the side hustles, and that can go completely to debt. So you're doing great. And close. There's baby steps right there, and there are indeed 7 of them. Confirmed. Alrighty. My chair went down. It certainly did. Who flummox? Okay. Who flummox? Pay off mortgage on rental or primary. We have a primary residence purchased last year in 15-year mortgage, about $5,600 a month mortgage. What? We have a rental property with a balance of $132K if paying the monthly or lump payment of about $100K. We have $100K, and wife was thinking of putting it towards the primary, while I'm thinking of paying off the rental property and putting in the $2,500 a month from the rental to our primary in addition to the what do you think of the 2 options? Well, as usual, third option would be to sell the rental. You owe $132K on it. You do have $100K cash. I mean, you know, you're gonna do what you're gonna do, and you certainly can do it because it's your life and your money. But you just don't do this on the. If you're following Dave's advice, you don't get a rental property. And assuming the rental property had more, maybe they previously lived in that rental property, and then because they wanted a bigger house and or just moved to somewhere else, that's when people get the bright idea to become landlords, and it is not often worth it. But I mean, if you can pay it off, there's only $32K left on it. If you want to scramble to pay it off and then only have your residence, basically would be putting that rental property in baby step 2. Let's see there. I just want to see only 14 comments. Let's see if they have any other debt. If they don't have any other debt, I would say put that you got do the $100K on it, so you only owe $32,000. Put that, you know, I'm guessing a huge income here with a $5,600 month mortgage, and I hope that's the payment on both of them, but I'm betting that it's not. The $2,500 a month on the rental one and $56K, so that's $8,100 a month going to these 2 properties. So pay off the one that you can actually pay off and net the $2,500 a month. Let's see if they only want to hear from the person. Boom, boom. Let's see if the OP added anything about debt. No OP information here, so don't know if there's any other debt. I'm probably just selling the rental, and you can get back into the rental game at some other point after you are debt free and you save completely in cash to buy a rental as per the Ramsey advice. The Dutch Demon. When does Dave himself answer questions during his weekly shows? Well, this was 6 days ago. And guess what? Mr. Ramsey was on Monday through Thursday. Of course, I believe the whole staff has Good Friday off. They often have off on the religious holidays. So you would have gotten 4 days to hear Dave or call and talk to him. I had a financial crossroads in my life and really need some advice and direction. Well, it's follow the baby steps. That's what it's going to be. People think their individual situations are going to affect the baby steps. They don't. It's still you're doing the baby steps or you're in emergency mode. And you're not doing them. You're paused from them. But when you go back to them, they're still in the same order you left them in. So it's not that difficult, but for some reason people can read it and understand it, but then they just can't apply it to themselves for whatever reason. Too close to their own situation or something. Let's see. I really prefer to try calling in when it's Dave himself rather than one of the personalities. Is there any way of knowing when this would be? No, because Dave is the owner, and the owner can generally give himself off whenever he wants to be off. And so he's not going to be there Fridays, so never count on a Friday him being there. Even if it's not a religious holiday, it's still a holiday for him. So, but yeah, he can go on vacation for a month anytime he wants to, or longer. So there's no schedule. There's not even any schedule for the other personalities when they're going to be on. Okay, Act 9769. Best spending deterrents. All right. You say, no, don't spend. You look in the mirror and say, no, 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 no. You tell yourself, no. Hey, y'all. Baby step 2. How do you guys stop yourselves from dumb purchases? Well, you do have to think that. You say, oh, I want that. And then you think, you have to, if you know it's dumb, you say, oh, that's dumb. I need to put that money towards this debt instead. Let's see, by dumb I mean things that aren't necessary. DoorDash, buying clothes, etc. Starbucks, I added that one. Really wanting to pay at least half of my debt off. Well, you pay the whole thing off. I do budget for a little bit of fun because personally, beans and rice is very tough for me to be able to stick to. And if I budget, I'm more likely to adhere. You can do a little bit of fun money, very, very little when you're on step 2. Credit card debt, $7,000, card $23,000. Making net $360 monthly expenses around $2,163, includes car payment. Thanks. I'm gonna have to go ahead and see that budget if you don't mind. Let's just see. I know there are 36 comments. I just want to see. Just want to see just in case, because I feel like for me that the budget is going to be a problem. Here it's going to be too high. Looking for OP. No, nothing from the OP again. Not diving back in the comments, just reading them maybe. But yeah, you have to stop doing it. Stop spending money on DoorDash and buying clothes. Do not put those in the budget then. And so if you're going to adhere to the budget, if you have some fun money, well, then have a little bit of fun money. But there's no DoorDash. There's no buying clothes. There's no traveling. There's no Starbucks. There's no anything. There's no going out with your friends if it's going to make you spend, more than your fun money. You don't do that. So expenses being $2,163 a month, including that car payment. Doesn't say how much. Net $3,600 monthly and $21. Yeah, you gotta. That leaves $1,500 a month though. So hopefully almost all of that is going to debt. So I would take a look at that budget and cut where you can. It's just for a hashtag season. Doesn't necessarily mean 3 months. In this case, season means a short time. And they started saying season shortly after Mr. Deloney came on board. It's going to be Dr. Deloney. And so I don't know if it came from him, but he certainly says it as well. So interesting. Implivation. I don't know what that means. Searching for YouTube video. Hello, friends. Hi. Hi, guys. I've been digging around YouTube for the past hour trying to find a particular call in the show. In the episode, the male caller had over $200,000 in debt because he double mortgaged his home to cover his 5-year-old son's $1.3 million brain surgery. My goodness. I don't remember that one. If someone happens to know the episode and post the YouTube link, I'd be forever grateful. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, you can kind of figure it out sometimes if it's been on a recent episode, but a lot of times you just have to watch whole shows in order to find one particular call, unless they happen to make a clip of it. How can I deal with inflation? Well, you deal with it the same way you deal with everything else that's out of your control. That's out of your control. So you control what you can control, which say, for example, say something you buy at the grocery store every week has gotten more expensive. You can stop buying it and buy something cheaper. That kind of thing. You can, and overall to deal with inflation, if you don't take care of it as a particular item bonus, well, if you want to deal with inflation, then that means maybe you work more to deal with it if you want to keep up your level of spending. Otherwise, you drop your level of spending. Meaning maybe you take out, if you have fun money now, maybe you reduce the amount of that. Let's see, I've loosely followed Dave's baby step. He's the Dave now, I guess. Baby steps to get my house paid off, and I live within my means. I make decent money and budget reasonably. Since paying off the house 4 years ago, so now you have that mortgage payment, what's the problem? I've tried to put a good chunk of that money into savings every month, but inflation is starting to kill me. It's not. It's not. The cost of groceries, gas, and kids keep going up. You're watching the news and you're looking at the numbers every day. You don't need to do that. You will get through life without looking at the numbers every day. The cost of kids does not keep going up by that much. Now, if you are insisting that they do travel sports, or if you are paying for them to do travel sports, that's going to be expensive. If you have them in daycare, that is going to be expensive, and you just have to deal with it. Just like inflation, it's not in your control, so you have to control what you can control to quote unquote deal with inflation. But basically, if they raise prices too high on something, you just stop buying it and find an alternative. I'm getting to the point where I don't save much of anything anymore on a monthly basis, and that's why, because you think you're losing money by saving and making a little bit of interest rather than because the dollar is going down in value or whatever. So yeah, just overthinking it. What really worries me is that on our current trajectory, soon it won't matter of how much we're saving. Don't need the word of there, but a matter of how far into debt. Okay, so what would Dave do? Okay, you're asking how far into debt we'll go. That shouldn't be any. You paid your freaking house off and you have other debt? You're doing it wrong. Let's verify the other debt. How far of debt we're going into every month. And that's the wrong freaking attitude. You're doing it wrong. What suggestions do you all have? You pay off all your debt and you don't go into debt anymore. You already got your house paid off, so you don't need a new house. So there is no debt that is justifiable for you, my friend. Maybe the obvious answer is start looking for another job that pays more. You could do that, or just stop spending as much. But short of that, how can someone like me manage to cut expenses when it's not for the purpose of getting out of debt? Then is it... So if you're not in debt, what's this but a matter of how far into debt we're going every month? So you say you're out of debt and then you're talking about that. So if this is some financial theory thing about how you think inflation equals debt to you, then I don't have time for it. Financial theory is boring to me. Boring. So either you are in debt or you don't. So you're saying it's not for the purpose of getting out of debt. So assuming you don't have any, so you considering yourself in debt just because inflation exists is dumb in this reporter's opinion. Monthly budget, let's see. Total is $51.25. Total tithes 40. Save 500 powers, 295. That's a lot, but maybe you have too big of a house as well. Internet 120. You could try to take that down some. Phone 130. So don't know how many people, and maybe finance phones as well. Food 1900 a month. How many? Doesn't say how many in the family, so probably could cut that down. I'm guessing most people can cut food down easily. They just don't want to. Medical 250 a month. Okay. Property tax 200 a month. Insurance 200 a month. Home 150. Insurance, I'm guessing. Auto insurance 100. Okay. Cloths should be clothes 50. 50 to charity. It could be included in your tithe. 50 freedom. What does that mean? I don't know what freedom there means. Does that mean it's like fun money? 50 miscellaneous. So 100 kids. Why do the kids need $100 a month other than for what you're already doing for them? 200 for gifts. You could cut that out. 75 mad money. So you got too much. You got too much. Oh. Miscellaneous 100. Kids 200. 200 a month for the kids on there. Okay, I got confused. So it's gifts 75 and mad money 100. So yeah, you can cut out any of that extra stuff that is not a necessity. You can do that if you feel so strongly about this inflation thing. Then that means you don't get any non-necessities, and that's something you can control. The inflation you can't control. You can also control yourself thinking that it's you going into debt, because it's not. But no one is answering my question. How do you deal with inflation? You spend less. You make more money or spend less. My budget is my own. It may be abnormal, but it's been steady for years. Cutting back when I'm not in debt is going to be painful. Shut up. Shut up with your stupid crap. My goodness. What are the principal tips that you all have for dealing with the situation? Is for you quit being obstinate. And my budget my own, and maybe I'll never. It's been steady for many years. Cutting back when I'm not in debt is going to be painful. It's also painful listening to you complain about something that you could easily fix by controlling your own expenses, because you can't control the inflation part. That's not going away, and there's no easy button. There's no magic situation to this. So stupid. Oh my goodness, I hate dumb people. Florida baby 1 2 3. Consolidation, unsecured loan, move. No, maybe. Let's see. Backstory: was an abusive relationship, then left. Consisted of moving Georgia to Ohio. The Massachusetts, Alabama? Are those ones that Georgia? Oh, that's your order of choice here, or the order that you actually did move? Caused me to need this Reddit. Well, does anybody need Reddit? I mean, it's great for content for me, but does anybody need it? Thankfully, had an emergency fund, but now that emergency fund and all are going to be completely gone by the end of April, and student loans start in May. For the time being, the past 6 months, I've been applying for jobs and making minimum payments. Yeah, you need to get to work immediately. These baby steps don't happen unless there's income. There's got to be income for this to happen. Otherwise, it can't happen because it requires income. Your greatest wealth building tool. I've not bought anything or added any more new debt. Well, that's great. That shouldn't even be an option. I moved back in with my parents and have no expenses with my parents. They gave me a loan, a car. So the problem with moving back in with parents is that's too comfortable. And so they gave you a loan, a car too. So you don't have to do anything. That's like a deadbeat move, really. I mean, I could see if you did it just for a few weeks or something like that, maybe a month, but you should have a job of some type before a month is up. And too bad if it's not the job you want. Cute structure, 1879, officially debt-free at 25. 25-year-old female, just paid off $23,000 total student loan debt. I acquired it 21. Let's go back to, there we go. To 24. No, I acquired it 21 after graduating from college. I went into teaching from 21 to 24, and now I'm currently in the Army, 25 now. It took me 4 years to pay it back, and I've learned so much about discipline and personal finance. I want to thank Dave Ramsey for initially igniting probably a fire in me to be debt-free as a young person so I can prosper as I get older. I understand delays in gratification. Mr. Inflation, are you listening? Delays in gratification and owning my personal finance journey. Are you listening, Mr. Inflation? Are you listening? And this person is younger than you are, so you should definitely know better. Good luck to you all, including Mr. Inflation, of course. Alrighty, suitable soil 5261, still learning. Please give advice on the 401k IRA. All right. Hey guys, influencer voice there. I'm doing a few of the Ramsey methods, a few of them, including the credit card debt snowball, and it working great. Today I'm asking about 401k and IRAs. Oh, great. I like that delivery there. That's like he's doing a show. Today I'm asking about it. I have my current job, 401k, and with like 20k in it. Okay, great. I have a past job, 401k, with 10k, and one other that was a 401k, but now it says it's a rollover IRA. Traditional, okay, so that means it was rolled over from your previous job, and so now it is an IRA. What is that? IH9900, only 8, maybe that's supposed to be a half, $1,800 in it. Should I put the two past ones, 10K and 1,800 IRA, into my current job 401k? You could move the old 401ks into your current 401k. You could do that. And that wouldn't create a tax event. I don't think. Will it? No, because it's a 401k, and so you've already not paid taxes on those contributions, And so rolling it to the 401k should not be a problem. So you can do that, so you can keep them all together so you don't have little bits all over everywhere. But as far as moving the IRA into it, IRA traditional, I wonder if that was a tax event when it was moved over. No, because it's not a Roth IRA, so probably not out either. So you probably could do that. Check with your HR or with an investing professional on that to make sure, or just Google it. Or maybe pull one. I could always use more cash savings and dump some money on the credit card. What do you think? Mine think that you could do that. The problem is that those are all retirement accounts. So if you pull anything beyond contributions out, that's going to be a tax event. So, I mean, if it's not that much growth in them, like say, for example, it's the 1800 IRA, if it's 1500 contributions and only 300 growth, that kind of thing, then I would probably take the loss on the 300. You have to pay taxes on the 300 growth. But other than that, you wouldn't, and you would have that money that you could do that. But otherwise, if it's going to be too much tax for you to handle, then it's not worth it to pull it out. And so, like I said, you can roll them over into your newest 401k with your current job. You can roll all of them, but up to you if you want to go through the trouble of doing that. You can just leave them where they are, but sometimes when it's with different jobs and not just something that's in a brokerage like this rollover IRA traditional is, then that can get unwieldy, and sometimes those do get lost when companies go out of business and such. This is from Dasilma, D-A-S-I-L-M-A. I don't know, just show it to you. There it is. Don't know what that means at all. Status check. Mortgage payoff question, long post, sorry, lots of specific individual background and almost never needed. And granted, on the call-in show, Ramsey show, it does add color. It makes it more interesting than just being numbers all the time. But like this, like her specific situation, let's just check it out and see what parts were not needed at all. What would Dave do? Flair. All right. So in 2019, I was in serious debt. I mean, that's great to show progress previously, but you could just start with what you owe now. Because this is great to just say, oh, that's great that you paid off that much. Yada, okay. Got Dave's book, did baby steps, yada, yada, yada. And now, after a second master's degree, I didn't know you could yada, yada, yada the baby steps. Apparently you can. What about after a second master's degree? Did you take out more debt? Because that's not on the baby steps to do that. 80K per year job plus 45K per year tax-free VA benefits, 125K total income. All right. What's this? Status check, mortgage payoff question. Okay. VA benefits increase each year as inflation increases as voted on by Congress, and always beats inflation. 5 to 8% increases per year, but it doesn't beat the market though. They continue until death. Currently, it works 8 to around $3,800 per month. Zero debt except house, bought 1 year ago. 360K left on 370K total mortgage. So they've been paying it on a year, and it's only gone down 10,000. That's how it works. And the interest rate isn't awesome. That's right. It's not 7.15%. That's right. Actually, still can't believe they even gave me a mortgage when I got it. It had jumped through about 45 conditions and had a credit score of 608. Yeah, well, might be too much house. Let's see, 30K emergency fund in high yield savings account at 5.26. Okay, automatically investing 15%. Okay, work income just got to 80K 2 weeks ago. Okay. Rapidly increase in the field, great. Likely increase around 10K every 2. So none of this matters. The only thing that matters is the money you're getting right now, because these theoretical increases, sure, they're supposed to happen, but they may not. You never know what's going to happen in the future. And it doesn't matter what you have in your retirement account right now as far as whether to pay the house off. If you're in baby steps 4, 5, and 6, then yes, you pay off the house as soon as possible, no matter what any of your other things are going to say here. See, I already pay a little extra on the house every month, but my idea now is that I've reached my 30K emergency fund number goal is to start dropping an extra $2,000 to $3,000 per month on the mortgage. That's how you do that. Even more as income increases, that's how you do that. You pretend you don't get an increase and you just put that on the house. Exactly. Whatever it takes to get rid of that debt. Right. Pending any craziness, this will lead to it paying off at 7 to 10 years. Rate of income increase the range, and saving. Well, you can do it even if you don't get the increases. You can do it on what you have now. And saving about $420,000 in interest if I did the full 30 years, which that's a mistake. So if you had to get a 30-year mortgage so you could afford this house, it's too much house. But once paid off, the idea is to go absolutely crazy on my retirement accounts. Sure. Oh, wait, I'm 43 years old. That's not that bad. That's not that bad. You still have 20-ish years still left in the market. That's plenty. Which is important to note as far as retirement. Not really. You still got a long time in there. You're not retiring early, though. Within the next 5 years, I can, with a lot of certainty, say I'll be making, again, with the maybes. It's a maybe. Another tax-free from VA benefit in today's money. So too much thinking about it, too much numbering, too much number. Sometimes it can be, numbers are great, but sometimes you can do too much. So at least 165K total income, which may coast for a long time. I'll be getting this increase and that increase. You don't know. Work with today's numbers. I do not believe in lifestyle creep. Well, that will work. Lifestyle creep's another one of my songs in the music playlist. Ramsey adjacent songs there. I still drive and repair a 2009 Ford Focus. And I will not move from this house, period. I work remote, FYI. You could consider moving down in house because that one is expensive for you. Another note, I mean, if you want to, put the pedal to the metal and pay it off, pay it like it's a 15, do that. Another note is that I do not pay property taxes due to special VH status, right? Okay. See, none of this matters whether you should pay off the house or not. You should pay off the house faster. That's baby step 6. It doesn't change no matter what you type here. Now that I've set the stage in specific individual circumstances, none of it matters. Not a bit of it matters. What matters is the money you're making right now and what you owe and what baby step you're on, which is 4, 5, and 6. And so you're doing the 4, you're doing the 15. That's great. Any extra left over goes to the mortgage to pay it off. So what else is the plan? Invest instead? Is my plan to throw absolutely everything I can at the house mortgage totally solid if I added 3% interest rate or something? Yes, I would focus on investing the... no, you shouldn't even do it if you have a 3%. Shouldn't even do it. That's how Ramsey differentiates from most of your other financial advisors, because they start looking at that interest rate. And so say you did say you did between 3 and 7.5, 15%. So the problem with that is that you're going to be losing on that deal. If you have a mortgage paying at 7.15%, but if the mortgage was at 3%, right? You have all of what you owe on the mortgage, which is what? Just $10,000 less. Let's scroll back up and see how much that is. If I can find it. $360,000, okay? And so if you start putting more into retirement to try to make up the difference between that or try to get ahead, it's going to take a while for you to catch up to the amount that you need to break even there, because you're starting with $1 in that. If you take it away from paying off the mortgage and putting it into, it can be in the same investing account, but you're still not getting the benefit of the previous amount in there. That you've already made, regardless of the house, regardless of extra money you're putting in there. Granted, you don't make it until you actually sell it and cash out. That's the only time you actually make that money. Otherwise, it's prone to go up and down. But regardless, so you're starting at $1. People that think this stuff, and I don't know why, they're supposed to be financial people and so forth. And so they think even if you put $10,000 in the market and say it makes the 10% that S&P averages, it makes that, that's on 10,000, and you're still racking up taxes. No, you're still paying on the interest on $360,000. Granted, that goes down a little bit per month, but not that much. $10,000 every year. And so you're not making much progress on that until you get the extra investing amount up to a level where it will at least equal what you're paying on the mortgage. And that can take a very long time, especially in your circumstance, which you realize, this person realizes it, fortunately, unlike the investment bros that just look at the interest rate and that's all they look at. They don't think about, well, we're starting at $1 with the extra investing. Oh, but we already have $360,000 racking up interest every single month. And so it doesn't work like that. That is, voodoo economics, like Vice President at the time, George Bush, said. I feel like demolishing this mortgage is the absolute best bet. Yes, it is. And that is verified, confirmed here by Mr. Ramsey's baby step 6, which is pay off your mortgage early. So yes. The only issue is the idea of time related to compound interest. Yep, eventually it would catch up, but that's not the advice. The idea is to pay off the house before it would catch up. And then you're even beating the finance bros that are like, oh no, you should invest more instead of paying more on the mortgage. And that's dumb. That's dumb of them. How did they not know that you're starting from $1 extra in investing? Dumb. Just dumb. Lots of dumb people being referenced today. The poster here seems to have it, just, despite being, basically this is what you're reading here is like, I'm sure, like listening to me talk, because I do like to talk a lot, and this person likes to write a lot. So let's see, paying off not only makes most psychological sense to me, I hate debt. That's a good enough reason all by itself. But it seems to also make solid financial sense. It does, and people that don't think so are wrong, and they're dumb. So I'm highly confident in my decision actions, but I'm posting this long essay to make sure I'm seeing all the angles, and if there's something I may be missing. I'm not seeing anything you're missing except dumb people's advice. Having the VA benefits alone already sets me up for solid retirement regardless, but I feel like due to my unique circumstances, no tax on benefits, no property tax, significant income, and benefit increases every year, which we hope keep happening, obviously. I may be in a position to require real wealth, something that seemed absolutely foreign to me 5 years ago. Right, you pay that house off, you're in step 7, you can invest whatever amount your heart desires, including the mortgage payment. Therefore, I cannot afford to make mistakes or overlook something. Again, my math checks out. It does indeed. And continuing to invest 15% while paying off the house as fast as possible, keeping lifestyle costs the same, then going crazy at retirement investing seems to be the most viable and successful plan. Yes, that's why the baby steps are like that. And they are in numerical order for your convenience, as always. But yeah, your math checks out. Even if it was a 3% mortgage, that math still checks out. One more note, contrary to conventional savings advice, I have a lot of subscriptions. Okay, that you're doing it wrong. Cable TV, who has cable TV anymore? Sirius Radio, Disney Plus, Netflix, Paramount Plus, Amazon Prime, Max, Hulu, Apple TV, Apple Music, Spotify, Family Plan, Regal Cinemas, Unlimited Movie Plan. I thought those were all closing. The cinemas that I used to work for, RC Cinemas, I think most of those became Regal Cinemas, but I thought they were closing. Crunch Fitness gym membership. I mean, the gym membership, if you go to there often enough to make it worth it, then maybe keep that one. But I make this point to say I don't really go out very much anymore. I don't drink anymore. Well, still, you don't need that many. You don't need that many subscriptions at all. Nobody does. Nobody does. If you're in step 7, knock yourself out. But until house is paid off, I would not. That's a lot of money going to subscriptions. Oh, what is that service that finds subscriptions and cancels them for you? I can't remember what that is. They would love you. Don't drink anymore. Don't smoke weed anymore. You just do this multiple times a day, every day. Well, quite literally, I eat the exact same thing every single day. Fatty ribeye steak, okay, because I'm on the carnivore lifestyle, lost 40 pounds, blood sugar down 37 points, excellent. I work out 5 times a week, and that's my main leisure activity. So yeah, if you're going to the gym 5 times a week, that's probably worth what you're paying for that. So keep that, and maybe cut half of them out. How about half of them? If the cable TV goes away and half of the other things go away, I would consider that a win, at least. And the rest of it, you can consider like your fun money or whatever that you would keep. And I do want to know how often, especially with all these other subscriptions, how often are you watching cable TV? And even if you are watching those programs, you could perhaps save some money by switching to YouTube TV and getting those same channels. But definitely look into that to make sure they have access to the same channels. I mentioned these many subscriptions. Oh, because it's less expensive than when I used to go out, right? Well, that doesn't mean anything. Just because you're spending less now, you still have to spend even less now. You're always looking for stuff to cut out that you don't need, because you want to go on a need basis while you're still doing the baby steps, while you're not on baby step 7. So, I mean, granted, you could do the baby steps, and you could certainly cash flow all of these subscriptions if you'd like, but it's going to make the baby steps take longer. Every single subscription is going to make it take longer by that much. So you just do want to make sure you utilize all of them. That's why I said great about the gym membership. I don't know how much you're watching or listening to the music ones. You have Apple Music and the Spotify family plan. Why would you need 2 different musics? 2 different musics. There's not Apple exclusive exclusive is the word. Musics, are there? Let's see. Many people don't realize how much they spend on booze and going out. That's right, they don't. They don't realize how much they spend on anything because they don't do a budget. When I did my budget back when I was grossly in debt, I realized that those things are where my money was draining, not subscriptions. True, but now it is, because that's your only things that aren't necessary. All the other things are expensive, and following the baby steps by investing and paying off the house early. Finally, all my medical and dental expenses covered by VA for life, so that's non-cost as well. And finally, thanks for the service. Absolutely. And finally, the question for all the financial masters after all this preamble. In this situation, is paying off the house ASAP the wisest overall decision? Or would those extra funds serve me better if I added them to retirement amounts now instead of the vast bulk in 7 to 10 years? Eventually, I don't know when. I haven't done the math on it. Eventually, that would catch up, but the problem is it's less risky to not owe anything on your house, to be completely debt free, than to have extra cash in retirement. And not having a mortgage payment in retirement also helps a great deal. So that was fun. But yeah, the only thing that mattered was the numbers. And the current numbers. It doesn't matter what they might go up to. If they go up, that's great, because you can get done, and you don't like lifestyle creep, so you can get done with the baby steps faster. All right, that was a lot of talking, a lot of reading. This episode brought to you by Crinkly Water Bottle. Thanks so much for watching. Those of you watching now and in the future. I need advice. This is from Primary Listen. Should I sell my 2-family home to pay off my current residence? Yes, almost certainly. I own a 2-family home currently valued at $1 million. I owe $350K on it. My current home has a balance of $500K left to be paid at 3% rate. Should I sell the 2-family to pay off my main residence? Yes, you do not do mortgages on rental property. You do not take moving from one property to another to become a landlord and then have 2 mortgages. That is not Mr. Ramsey's advice ever. If it was a situation like the other person that owed like what, $130K on it and had $100K cash, then fine, put it on baby step 2. But in this case, I don't think you can pay it off. $350K depends on the $350K on that and $500K on the residence. Yeah, I would sell it. Pay off the current house, and then you can add to what's left over. You could add to that and buy your first rental house if you wanted to keep being a landlord. You might find you don't need to be a landlord. You can just invest that money, where if you put it in mutual funds, the mutual funds roof doesn't break. Otherwise, baby 3717, and they don't call you in the middle of the night either. Looking at the future, I'm 26. Or if you aren't taking the call, then you're paying someone to take that call, and then that's less profit for you. Looking at the future, I'm 26, will be 27 in July. Still a baby to some of us. I have about $8,000 to $12,000 in debt to pay off. That's a range there. That's quite a range to not be sure. If you're never sure of what you owe, you can get a copy of your credit report, and that will tell you about some of the stuff that you forgot about. The 8,000 being with settlements. Oh, 12,000 without. Okay, I see what you're saying. I'll pay everything off around June or July with baby step 3 around the corner. I'll be able to have my $9,000 emergency fund established at the end of the year. Okay, great. I rent and don't own a home. My siblings are disabled and we're adopted by our grandmother who's approaching her 70s and haven't paid the house we've been living in since 2003 off, okay? And hasn't paid. The grandmother hasn't paid it off. If she goes, it goes to my dad, and when he goes, it goes to me, okay? I'd like to save up, so is he living there as well? I'd like to save up and get a brand new Toyota, okay? Well, let's do everything. Boom, ba-dum, boom, boom. A brand new Toyota Corolla. Well, that's not an option unless you have $1 million net worth. As far as a new one, you can get a used one that's a year old at least, but probably older than that due to your situation in the baby steps where you have stuff in collections that you couldn't pay on, and you're gonna save up for a new car. You're doing it wrong. But I'm worried that'll mess with me in investing. You shouldn't be investing while you have debt. You're doing it. Everything you're doing here is bad. I want to tell you this. Whether I should save up for a house and think about a car later. Priorities. So if there's any way that you could be kicked out of that house at any time, probably should be thinking about it. Probably should be thinking about if you don't want to live with people the rest of your life, then maybe you should. Thinking about putting some money either in the S&P 500 where the average interest is 10%, but if it downsides, I could potentially lose a lot of money and have less than what a market money would give me, right? So you have to have at least 5 years for there to be almost no chance that the market will be down in any 5-year period. So you would have to have 5 years before you were going to do that if you want to do that. And that is exactly what Mr. Ramsey does with his real estate money. He does put in an S&P 500 index fund, and he does use an index fund for that, for retirement. It's managed mutual funds because they can make more than the index. Let's see, it's changed the way I think about money. What has? Oh, the market versus the risk and it being down. Yeah, well, you don't do it if you don't have a 5-year window. Yeah, it is too much risk. That's why you don't do it. Unless you have a 5-year window before you would need the money. Currently, I drive a beat-up 2010 Pontiac G6. I have a 2005 Suzuki Verona that I bought for $1,000, and you bought that cheaper than I bought that Suzuki for a couple years ago. That doesn't seem to have too much wrong with it and would like to keep it as a backup car. Why don't you just drive that as your main car? What's the problem? It survived going from Ohio to Wisconsin and back. What's the problem with that car then? I don't have kids and don't pay child support. Currently working 80-hour weeks, making $1,300 net, $1,800 gross. Okay, well, this says pay out the debt first. Don't skip this step. It seems, yeah, although you qualified by saying thinking about the future, your focus is on car, not debt. Do the baby steps in order and focus on the present. Absolutely. Did he say debt will be paid off 2 months from now? Yeah, well, wait till it's paid off and then move on to trying to spend money. I mean, none of these steps say anywhere in here, in between here, before you get any of these rest of them. Look for other things to spend money on that you don't need. Buy a new car if you already have one that works fine. That's just dumb. Positivity, Athena HXC, just paid off 10K credit card debt. All right, great. Wanted to share with the community who knows how much this means. Absolutely. Feeling very blessed for this opportunity to straighten my life out when I didn't even know I was bad off until this year. Thank you in advance for your support. That is the problem. people don't realize that money is just hemorrhaging out of them. They don't realize that until they look at the numbers. And they don't really look at the numbers until there's a problem, until there's not enough money in the account to pay something. And then they think, well, what's wrong? Let me call my bank and ask them what mistake they made. That's not the bank's fault, my friend. That would be your fault. And so that's excellent. Excellent. Thank you in advance for your support. Absolutely supporting. Paying off debt is excellent. Mucky McCoo, 133,000. Mortgage, maybe? Doesn't say dollars. Found Dave a few months ago when I came to the realization of what I, 24 man, had done. Men's, am I right? Being the proud new college graduate with the new job, I bought myself a car for $23K, like every normal person does. That is what they do. It's called lifestyle creep. Oh, I got my new college job, my big boy job. I can buy all kinds of stuff now. Then my student loans kicked in. That will happen. If you take them out in the first place, if you don't take them out in the first place, then they don't kick in ever. 125K worth of loans for my MBA. No one in my family had been to college before, and knowing that's not an excuse is still something that I probably wouldn't have done had I known what was to come. Well, I mean, it gets, you know, you get advisors in high school, parents, TV telling you, oh, student loans, normal, 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 normal. Even debt, normal, 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 normal. Billions of dollars of advertisement a year spent by just one credit card company, much less all of them. So yeah, it's just normal. You have to stop and look at the numbers and think about whether it makes sense, or as I say, sometimes you don't do that until there's not enough money to pay for something. But then people eventually get it at that point, because when they start looking at the numbers, they go, oh, I was dumb. And we all were. Almost all of us. Some people lucky enough to never be in debt. They get it from the beginning, or that's just the way they were raised, or they just realized. Some people see parents in debt and stuff and just said, I don't want to do that. And so they do something different, which is, again, excellent. My family, and knowing that's not an excuse, still something I probably wouldn't have done if I'd known what was coming. My mother has lived in debt forever. Yeah, she gave me the great advice of you'll be in debt forever. All you have to do is learn how to manage it. And you can even leverage your 401k and borrow against yourself if things get tough. My mother has been everything for me. I can't thank her enough, but she is no financial mogul. That much is certain. I heard the same thing. You always have debt. You'll always have a car payment. And guess what? They were wrong about both of those things. I am in great spirits, however. A former college athlete. I am no stranger to hard work. Okay, starting out around 150-ish thousand between the student loans and car, is now down to 133K in 4 months. Excellent. Keep plugging away. Making around 75K between my full-time job and my side hustles as an entry-level worker. I'm shoving 3,700 monthly at my debt. Great. I will be a millionaire. I will change my family tree. Something that grows, not a number. My family tree. Good luck, everyone. Excellent. Excellent. It was dollars. I was right. All right, what time we got now? Oh, let's do the mid-roll. It's past the mid-roll a little bit. The plugs have been running the whole time, of course, but here at the mid-roll, I will actually say them. If you don't know me, I'm Coach Steve Money. Darn glad to meet you. Thank you so much for taking a second to look at me on the YouTube. Appreciate it muchly. Also on Twitch. Schedule free financial consultation with me at calendly.com/coachstevemoney. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach, by the way. And that is a video conferencing appointment, so you can do that from anywhere in the whole wide world. You can email me about coaching or anything else on my YouTube channel, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Channel donations, go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney. Alternatively, there's Cash App, $CoachSteveMoney, or Walmart gift card to coachstevemoney@gmail.com, or even the options of during a live stream, probably right under me somewhere, I don't know where, but super chats through YouTube. Also, if it's a regular video or a live stream you're watching after the fact, there will be super thanks that you can do as well. So all kinds of ways, no shortage of ways to reward me financially. Add me on the gram at Coach Steve Money, and of course, YouTube channels, youtube.com/Coach Steve Money. Upcoming streams. This show is answering your financial questions, and I'll be right back here tomorrow. Same Ramsey time, same Ramsey place. I might move it back to nights because it seemed like it was more, the live stream was more well attended when it was at night, around I think 8. Did I do it at 8 or 9? I think 8 p.m. Eastern time I did it, and now I'm doing it at the time the Ramsey show is on during the week, but I do it Saturdays and Sundays. So yes, I will be back tomorrow, and then stay tuned. It may change for the next week and go back to Saturday and Sunday night. What else am I doing? Shadow of the Tomb Raider game streams. Curse of Oak Island no cap recaps are late Tuesday nights after that week's episode airs. A bunch of other Oak Island content as well, and just any other kind. I have so many different playlists of different interests and stuff, so there's pretty much something for everybody. So, and if you have subscribed, thank you so very much. If you haven't, consider it, and liking and commenting. Much appreciated. Reality check from Budget Emphasis 1956. Let's do the reality check. And that's the reality. That's like when there's no money in the account to pay a bill that you have due, and that's when all of a sudden you figure out, oh, where'd the money go? And that's when you start looking at it. I'm 67, wife is 65, both retired, but I work 1 day a week and help with vacation coverage. Okay. You don't want to get bored in retirement. Home paid for, emergency fund funded. Car loan is $600 a month at 0% interest. You're doing it wrong. Will be paid off before the end of the year. What is the Dave Ramsey opinion on Roth conversions while the taxes are low? Planning on converting $70K, 2024 and 25, smaller amounts in 26, 27, 28 before required manual distributions is what RMD stand for. Roth conversions. Yeah, you can do that if you can cash flow them. The problem is you're on baby step 2, even though you have a emergency fund funded and the house paid for, you're doing it wrong by getting that car loan. So why do you care about Dave's opinion on that if you don't care about his opinion on debt? So, but the idea would be that you should do it if the savings on the growth is going to be more than the taxes that you're paying now. And you would want it to be significantly more, not just a little bit more. But yeah, certainly that's if it's going to end up being more money for you. At 67 and 65, we don't know. We don't know how long the lifespan on both of you is going to be for that. So it's difficult to say, but I mean, you would think 80, so 15 years. So if that's gonna, you can go by that, and if that's gonna catch up by then and pay off that tax owed, then yeah. But yeah, your emergency fund should be down to $1,000 while you pay off that, or by the end of the year. Yeah, it's only March, so the end of the year is a long time. Car loan, dumb. Other than that, did pretty well. And any other debt that may be not mentioned here. Hashtag mentioned. Key Researcher 8441, how to handle debt with no income. Well, income, unfortunately, is required to make the baby steps work. You can't do the Ramsey advice without an income, because it all requires an income, because it's all financially based. It's also you taking your money and doing smart stuff with it rather than dumb stuff with it. And if there's no money you can't do dumb stuff, which is good, but you also can't do the good stuff. Found Dave Ramsey about 5 months ago, and I'm looking to do a total money makeover. Unfortunately, I'm in a bind and I'd like some advice. Currently out of work due to some medical issues. Aiming to be back in 6 months, and I am trying to pay off debt. I can't attend work or do things like Uber or DoorDash as a something on the side either. See what you can do on the side. Try to find something to do. I can keep the lights on, so to speak, with my disability income, but I don't have much spare income to go towards debt. Yeah, it requires income, and disability income is not enough to make a move a lot of times. Not enough to make significant progress on the baby steps, unfortunately. So you have to be able to find something you can do. Don't sleep on any option. If you can do it, see if they will pay you to do that. No K stocks to the moon, okay? 401k question. I've been contributing to my employer's 401k plan for 4 years. They do a match for me. For the first 3 years, I contributed everything pre-tax. I found out last year that there is a Roth 401k. How about that option? So I switched my contributions to Roth. They may not have had it beforehand. Also, they may just say 401k there, and then you don't ask about the Roth, and then you might not have known about it to ask about it, but then you found out about it and then asked. And so yeah, so that's less widely known about than the 401k, that there's a Roth 401k option. Not all employers do offer it though. So if yours does offer it, then yes, do that. The only caveat to doing the Roth 401k is that any match the company gives you, they cannot legally put into a Roth 401k. So they have to also open a traditional 401k for you as well and put the match amount into there. But yeah, it's fine if you don't, that way you don't have to even do switching. Like normally it would be match and then Roth IRA. If you don't have a Roth option at work, you would do that and then go to the 401k for your 15%. My question is, my money is funding the same 401k plan. How do I know what money in my account is pre-tax dollars versus Roth dollars? Switch my contributions to Roth. You should have both still open. It should be 2 accounts still open unless they switched them. In that case, you would have had a tax event though. You would have had to pay tax on the pre-tax dollars in order for it to be put in a Roth. So my guess would be that you still have the 2 open, but you just switched your if what happens here is just what you said happened, I switched my contributions to Roth, then that means the other money is still in the traditional 401k, and all of your contributions since you switched are now in the Roth 401k. So they're both open, and that's fine because the other one has to be open anyway for them to put the match into it because they can't put it into the Roth 401k. How would I eventually get taxed on this in the future? When you take it out of the 401k account. So like if you were to convert that over, roll that over to the Roth, that would be the tax event time that you would have to do that. And that would only be on the growth though. You've already been taxed on the contributions. So if you haven't been, you say it's been 3 years, the tax might not be that much, but again, you might want to leave it there because they have to leave that traditional open anyway. And so that will be a good clip. I would get taxed considering now I'm contributing. You would get taxed, not in the future. You would get taxed on that now. If you take it out of the 401k and roll it over to the Roth, that is a tax event. All right. From Daphne Doodle. That was going to be Daphne Do and then something else. Didn't look ahead to see that it was the word doodle. Does the future value of my business and real estate value factor in for my retirement contributions? No, it does not. You do 15% of your gross household income into retirement. It doesn't matter what your future value of business is. If your business is valued for a lot of money and you can sell it, great, that's even more money for you. But you're not counting on that. And the real estate value factor in, no, you want to do too much math there. You're trying to do too much math. So yeah, you don't get a break on the 15% because your business or your real estate might be more in value. Real estate almost certainly will be worth more, but no, that's just extra. You don't count that. You put 15% in the game. Let's see, husband and I own steps 4 through 6, and we follow the save 15% of income for retirement rule. Well, you would have to be if you're on steps 4 to 6. Otherwise, you're not on steps 4 to 6. You're not doing anything that Dave says to do. You're doing your own thing. But so by following it, you are on steps 4 to 6. Congratulations. Good choice. My question is, can I reduce that percentage? No, I knew they wanted the money. What does he want the money for? Or she? What does she want the money for? I just want to know what they want the money for. Instead, reduce that percent knowing that I have some future value in my business and commercial real estate. We're early 40s and have $950K in retirement, but would love some more flexibility in our budget. No, you take something out of if you want to add something to the budget, you want to spend more money, stop spending it elsewhere. And maybe you don't buy commercial real estate as much if you want to be able to spend more money. You can't do everything. You can't spend all the money trying to make money and then not have enough money to spend on stuff you want to spend it on. So, check this one. I gotta know. I just gotta know what she wants to spend it on. Please tell me. This is like a lot of people feel like this on the calls because you don't ever get the story from the other person if there's another person involved, and you also don't get closure on it because you don't know what happened. Let's see. No. I'm just gonna give you the answer you want to hear. Yes, you can reduce 10%. To have 5% for whatever else and be just fine in retirement. You have 20 years until retirement, and your $1 million would grow to more than you can spend in retirement. That may be true, but again, the Ramsey advice is to not count on that. Let's see, I wasn't looking for a yes, just seeking on opinions from like-minded people that want to buy something instead of follow the baby steps. My business partner seems to think our shop well that shouldn't be happening anyway. If you got a business partner, that could turn out bad and then the business wouldn't be worth much, would it? Our shop will fully fund his retirement, and so you want to be a copier. And I'm like, there's no way it will provide the amount of funds he'll need for retirement. Okay, so you knowing that, it's not going to be enough for you either then. My goodness. It's a coffee shop. We own the real estate. Projected spending. It's difficult to determine what our spending will be like in 20, 25 years. Right. Nobody knows what expenses will be. You don't know what the inflation will be. You don't know what things will cost. So yeah, you can just speculate. But yes, it's a good idea to do all the calculations again periodically. Thank you for your insight. Absolutely. Nothing wrong with looking at the numbers. You don't need to look at them. This person says run Monte Carlo calculations to be sure, and that is basically, it says it's the worst case scenario as far as market returns. Not according to plan, and actually 15% is as low as it is because you're supposed to be paying off the house, then increase it. Yeah, do they have loans on that? Oh yeah, it doesn't say. It does not say. So maybe the flexibility in the budget is that they bought too much house, so that could be it as well. So yeah, we won't know. No closure on this one. Maybe she'll see this and comment on it. That'd be great. I'd love to know what happened. Happy Pinwheel. Spend a sign-on bonus on student loans. Any extra money goes to whatever baby step you're on. So you're on baby step 2 with those student loans. So yes. Not necessarily on the student loans. If you have smaller debts than that, it would knock out those first. Hi everyone. Hi guys. I graduate in May 2023. I have a BS in Applied Mathematics and Statistics, interesting, and an MS in Data Science. I work as an engineer, but I can't understand this money stuff. No, I added that just for fun. My salary is $110,000. Take home $72,800. After deductions, I am 24 years old, just a baby. I have $33K of student loans in my own name. I have $103 of debt in my mother's name in the form of Parent Plus loans. Yep. Well, did she say she was going to pay all that? She might have thought, well, I'll help you get the loan. I'll take out the Parent Plus loan, but you're going to pay it all off. And so the problem is the burden of paying that Parent Plus loan is going to go to the person that cares more about their credit score and paying it off and such like that. So if she's not worried about it, guess who they're coming after? You. I've been focusing on the loan with the highest interest rate. You're doing it wrong. Smallest to largest, which currently stands at $16K at 7.35. After that, there is a $3,000 loan at 6. Highest interest rate loans are the Parent Plus loans, which you should be paying those off too. Those have your name on it. Doesn't matter. It doesn't say parent loan. It says Parent Plus loan. Guess who the plus person is? That's you. My job gave me a total of $15,400 in tuition reimbursement. That's great. And a sign-on bonus. This is all money that I would have to pay back to them if I left the company voluntarily. You mean before May 2025? So don't do that. I don't love my job, but I also don't want to anticipate that I will voluntarily leave within that time frame. Yeah, don't, and then you'll have that $15,400 still. Otherwise, you'll have to pay that back. Not spend any of the $15,400 because it doesn't feel like it is completely mine. I'm scared that life circumstances will change somehow. It will then become $15,400 worth of debt. I have money sitting in the savings account. This money sitting in the savings account, earning 4.35. That's fine, I guess. But you would put any extra money, and that is extra money, to whatever baby step you're on, which is baby step 2. Many days I'm tempted to throw all of this money at the highest interest. No, we don't do that. We don't do highest interest, as smallest to largest. You're doing it wrong. But I've resisted doing this over the past year, doing a lot of stuff wrong. At what point would it be safe to actually put this money toward my student loans? You at any time could get fed up with it and leave. I would think you wouldn't, like if it got to like 2 months, you would say, oh, I can handle 2 months and then I'll go. But who knows? Nobody knows. There's not a safe time. And safe for this, safe is subjective. My opinion of it isn't going to be the same as your opinion of it. So it's not numbers based. It's not where you can point to numbers, and not even where you can say, well, most likely based on the numbers, blah 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 blah. Most likely based on the numbers. It's just the what is the variable here is if you voluntarily leave the company, if you like it so bad that you don't like it, or if it keeps you from getting a higher paying job because of that. So that would be the thing, but that's all on you. That's not on the rest of us. So we can't tell you when you would think it would be safe. I can't tell if it's wise to do so if there are still conditions on it. I do not know if the amount that I would have to pay back is prorated. I suspect not. No, I don't know, but I would say plan on working there at least until May 2025. Throw it at the student loans, pay that stuff off, and hopefully you can pay it off by May 2025 completely. How about that? What was your biggest financial purchase regret? Stupid tax. Oh, interesting. I've heard Dave over mentioned stupid tax over the years. English. What has been your biggest stupid tax? Oh, goodness. Biggest stupid tax. Oh, when I was a teenager in early 20s, I bought stuff I didn't need. Like a keyboard, guitar. I never learned how to play. Man, it was a used guitar. The keyboard was brand new though. Financed it. Bad. Dumb. Dumb kid stuff. What else did I do? I didn't know better. I had, and of course, Dad co-signed. I can't remember if both my parents co-signed or not. I think just my dad. My mom may not have had a credit score at that time. I can't remember. Anyway, when I was 16, my dad co-signed for me to get a car payment because he had always said at least once a week. Gotta be, little man can't get ahead. You'll always be in debt. You'll always have a car payment. And so that's what I did. And that was before I heard of Mr. Ramsey. That didn't happen until I was in my 20s. And I started listening to him in the 90s when I was riding around. Was it in that car or was it in something different by then? I think it was a different car by then even. And that one was new when I was 16. And so that was dumb. It wasn't anything crazy. It was a Chevy Chevette. And so, not a high-priced thing at all, really. But it was still a new car, and so should have never done that. So that's probably it. I'm trying to think what else. Other than that, while we still had debt, my ex-wife and I bought a house as well. So that would be it as well. And that was before, but eventually we did get rid of all the debt, and at least I think we just barely broke even. I think we made a little bit of money on the house when we sold it before the divorce, so we didn't have to split up debt in the divorce, so that made that part easier. If you have biggest financial purchase regrets that you consider stupid tax, put those in the comments. Or comment them if you're watching live. Tenor 144, good banking options, Greater Seattle area, Pacific Northwest, I don't know. Currently with Bank of America, Dave is not a fan of them. Does anyone have good regional bank credit union for Seattle, Pacific Northwest? Thanks for any info you can provide. I think they're all banks, so I don't know. I think Bank of America was who he had loans with. when he filed bankruptcy. And the thing with that, I mean, obviously he owed the money. The thing of that is he owed, I think he owed over $1 million, and he had it all paid off except for like a low thousand, like maybe all but I don't know. I don't want to speculate, but it was a much lower amount, because he once he realized he was in trouble, once they called the note, he paid it off for 3 years, but then eventually they weren't going to wait anymore, and so I think that was Bank of America that did that. Apologies to Mr. Ramsey if I am wrong about any of that part. Commercial ad 6562, paying off mortgage. The answer is yes. On baby step 6, you pay off the mortgage early. Have a 5.9%, doesn't matter, on a 30-year. 304K, 304. I was like, what's a 304K retirement plan? No, $304,000 loan is what it is. 30-year. So probably bought too much house. If they had to get a 30-year to be able to afford the payment, that's too much house. You get a 15-year mortgage. If you have to make it a 30 so that you can afford the house, that's too much house. And people don't want to be told that. They don't want to be told you can't have this thing that you want. I called company to see what their rates are to refinance, but they said best they could do is 5.6 on a 15-year. Yep. I've had the loan for, and definitely do that. Because if you can't afford it on that 15-year payment, then you can't afford the house. So do that. I've had the loan for a year, but I mean that's only 0.3. So yeah, you're not gonna do that. Rates haven't gone down yet, so why would you think you could refinance to lower? I had the loan for a year. My question is it worth waiting to refi and then throwing extra at principal, or should I just start throwing extra now? You throw extra to it now if you're on baby step 6. If you're on 4, 5, and 6 right now, you do 4, 5, and 6 right now. You don't do, if there's no kids, you don't do step 5. So if you're already doing 15% of gross income, then any extra money, your snowball amount left from previous, where you'd been using that to pay off debt and to get your full emergency fund, and then you use some of that snowball amount to invest 15% every month of your gross income into retirement. And then if baby step 5 applies, you apply some to there, as much as you need to make sure per month that you have enough money for them when they're 18 and ready to attend college. And then anything left over, any extra, goes to pay off that mortgage early. I haven't thrown much extra because I planned on refinancing, but rates are taking longer to drop than I expected. Yep. 26 man, and this is the only debt I have except for rental property I have. So you're doing it wrong. You have 2 mortgages. That is not part of the baby steps at all. So you're doing it wrong in the 30-year. You're doing it wrong on the rental property, and probably on a 15, you probably couldn't even afford. Maybe can't even afford one of them, even if you sold the rental property. So sell the rental property, pay off your residential mortgage as soon as you can. No mortgages on rental property. Ever. You're doing it wrong. Right? From Fast Taste 111. Retirement. I'm retiring 2 to 3 years, 2/3 years. I think they meant maybe 2 to 3 years. I work for the US government, and I've been putting money in my TSP. That's a thrift savings plan. That is their form of 401k. I am told when I retire, I can move the TSP money into an IRA or leave it in the TSP. The advice from TSP is to move the money from the C and S funds and put it into the income fund or G fund. The income fund averages 4.1% over the last 10 years, and the G fund is government securities, averaging 2.35 over the last 10 years. No, that's some of that target date stuff that they're talking about. And I guess it would be if when you're already retired. So I guess, and those are safer than the market, but the market does 10%. So it makes more than any of that military stuff. So you wouldn't necessarily do that. So if that money, if you don't need it when you're retiring and you just want to build wealth and you won't need that for your entire retirement, then I would move it and put it into just even the S&P 500 fund would be better than anything the government has for you, any of those options. As far as making the most money on it, but it's up to you and your risk tolerance and whether you need that money to actually retire with instead of just building wealth. Should I get mortgage to build a dream house? Almost certainly no. When you start saying dream house, you start to not pay attention to things like budgets and your income versus how much that's going to cost. And building stuff always costs more than the estimate. Always. I've recently relocated back to my hometown in the Midwest. Shout out Midwest. I'll be having a pop later, Midwest people, from across the country. I made some good money selling my house. Looking for advice on next steps. I am a 35-year-old single male that has no debt. I make $120K a year working fully remote. I have $250K in my 401K and another $50K in my IRA. I have $275K cash to put towards a home purchase. I have the opportunity to live with my parents for free until I find a place / build a house. During this time, I could aggressively save more to put towards purchasing a house. If I were to build and live with a family, I could save at least another, $40,000. So it just depends on how much you think this house needs to be. 120K a year. So 100, probably less than that, maybe 90. Let's just make the math easy and give him 100 net a year. So 100 net a year, so he can buy a $350,000. He can get a $350,000 mortgage. Excuse me. So $350,000 and $275K. So that ought to be a freaking enough, I would think, to handle both the house. So that would be, what did I say? A $350 mortgage. So that would be $625,000, excuse me. All right, let's see how much this sucker is going to cost, even at estimates, but things always cost more as far as building. With anything contractors, it's always over the estimate. Where are we at? Yeah, bring my available down payment purchase power to $325K. Right. Oh, he did it math for me. I just didn't go to the whole not article. What is this called? The whole question first. Post. This will be my third time buying a home. Too many homes. If you're not staying there, don't buy a house. My first house was a foreclosure that I rehabbed and sold when I moved away. I made a nice profit on that house. Yeah, hey, if you need a hobby, and somewhere where you live there, and then you move it and sell the place, you may profit from that hobby. I made a nice profit on the house, which was rolled into the next. The house I just sold was new construction built in 2017. What would be the best option for your opinion? This person has 3 options here. And let's see if those are enough or if I think of a different one. Find a house that is cheaper, older, needs work that I could potentially pay cash for. That is always the best bet if you don't get a mortgage, because then you don't have a mortgage payment. And so that's always the best bet to do that. And especially since you can do rehabbing work apparently. Build new construction with large national builder that would likely require a smaller mortgage. They're currently selling $380 to $420. So again, that's way lower. That's only a $95K mortgage if that currently, if that comes under budget there, under the estimate. So yeah, that'd be $100,000 mortgage then, and Dave is fine if you do that. But you just don't want to go crazy, like I said, and get the 6 over 625 is like the maximum house you can buy. Or no, that would be the maximum. The maximum. The maximum house you could buy, because your down payment would add to the 420, and so then you would be able to. No, not the 420. That's just what they're selling for. So it would be minus that. Yeah. I need a little nap. I was up for like 4 hours early this morning, and then went back to sleep. It didn't help, apparently, as you can see. But yeah, basically, for the 420, you would only have to get $100,000 mortgage. Option 1, paying completely in cash. That is the best option. That is Dave's advice. He will not yell at you if you get a responsible mortgage. That does not make you house poor, and the 100K one will not. Even more than that will not. Build my dream home on family land, which would require a little bit of a larger mortgage. I have plans, and I've talked to a few builders. I priced this at $525 to $550K. Now we're getting up there, but we're still under the amount that you'd be fine for. So just keep saving and take as little a mortgage as possible if you think it's worth it to do that. Generally, I mean, I don't have like these dreams about homes and such. It's the same with cars. I'm not a car guy either. If the car gets me from point A to point B, I don't care about it beyond that. That's all I care about it. If I have a place to sleep and do YouTube at, I'm fine. So I don't have dreams about like a particular house or anything like that. So I can't relate on that. So I would definitely, in this person's situation, I would definitely use the cash from the house sale and just buy something within that means, because how much do you need? It doesn't say 35-year-old single male. You don't need a big huge house. Guess what? You buy a big huge house, a future Mrs. might want to move anyway because might not like your house. How about that? So you should wait on that. Just buy a small house. If it's just for one person, buy it for one person. Don't do that. Yeah, and don't build yourself a dream house unless your dream is to live alone, because you don't know what a Mrs. Southside Vike is. Maybe that was a high school, Southside Vikings, perhaps. So yeah, you don't know, but yeah, I would do the just cash, and then you can get a mortgage later with your wife if she wants to move away from what I'm sure will be a fabulous house. At like, what did I say? You have over $300,000 right now. I'm sure you can get a nice house for that for one person. Psychological P883, overwhelmed and can't start. I sat down and put all my debt together. I have about $8,000 in medical, $1,000 in credit cards. I only have 2 secured cards. Okay, that's small blessings. I don't have anything else other than that. About $19,000 in car, $6,500 in collection. Excuse me. $45K in student loans. I'm only 27. This debt is paralyzing. I literally am frozen just staring at it. I don't know how to tackle it, and it's so scary and big. Crazy. Yeah, if you haven't looked at it before, it's going to be scary. But eventually you'll accept that this is the situation and you do need to deal with it. And so welcome to baby step 1. You are the one that has to fix it. So you can't be frozen because you can't be frozen. You have to do stuff. So you can't be frozen and stare at it. You have to instead work more, spend a lot less, and get the debt bye-bye. So yeah, I mean, it's all up to you. So you have to get over the overwhelmment, and if it's scaring you that much, it should scare you into action. And so then you wouldn't be frozen anymore. Small award 524. Am I wrong? Let's see if you are. I've been listening to Dave. I'm a 25-year-old man. Dave is really smart. Yep. But his teachings and his thinking to me is a bit outdated. A lot of people think that. It's not. It's not. That's just what everybody says as an excuse because they don't want to take his advice, because they don't want to say no to themselves. They want to get what they want to get when they want to get it. And so let's see. All right, let's see what this particular person's is before I jump off into my own deal. I love the baby steps, just not the order. The order is the proven order. It's worked millions of documented times, but you think you're going to improve it? I just saved $1,000. I have $25K in car debt and $7K in credit card debt. I currently live at home making $3,200 a month, excuse me. And live at home is not meaning he lives at his house. He lives at his parents' house is what that means. For some reason, people always say I live at home. When you move out, that's going to be your home, not your parents' house. I started my tech career in about 2 months, making $6,000 a month. Great. The job is hybrid in Dallas, which is 4 hours away, but the first 3 months, they said I can be fully remote. Great. Anyways, so those 3 months, I plan working both jobs. Very doable. Current job is so laid back, okay, and saving about $7,000 a month. And so let's get, what is the problem with Mr. Ramsey's proven 30 years, millions of documented success stories, baby steps, and you have a better idea. Let's see what it is. With that being said, I can have at least 20K by the time I move out and quit the first job, since I won't be in that city anymore. Then I can start tackling my credit card debt, which will take me like 3 months to pay off. Then work on my auto loan, then aggressively start saving lots of money for the stock market and a few thousand for crypto. Not advised either. Is this whole story smart or dumb? It's dumb. Any advice or pointers for me? Yeah, follow the baby steps. You're on the Dave Ramsey subreddit. The subreddit mods put the baby steps right here on the right side of the page. Of course, if you're on a phone, you might not be seeing that, but if you're on a computer, you can. And if you tune in the Ramsey show, they tell you the baby steps. So I don't know what is the problem with it. So you just want to save money instead of pay off debt. You're going to saving $7,000 a month for 3 months. So you're going to save up $21,000 to do what with? Yeah, I can have at least 20K by the time I move out. You can do that anyway. What's the problem? You can do that anyway. You don't want to buy a house in Dallas, live there first, rent there, and then if you decide to stay there and with that company, then you can buy a house later. So you wouldn't do that. Yeah, you wouldn't do any of this. Everything you're doing here is bad. You need enough to move for moving expenses, and you need enough for deposit and maybe first month's rent, but that is not $20,000. So the idea, and you never know what the future will hold. So you're living with parents right now, so your expenses are lower, so you take this opportunity to put a lot of money on the debt. And so you are wrong. You get to do it your own way because it's your life and your money, but I think that's pretty dumb to go against Dave's proven advice. Probably the last question. Swag Surfing 2030. Am I doing the most? The most what? The most bestest? I found Dave about a year ago. He wasn't lost and have been following his plan strongly for about 6 months. Excellent. I have 1K emergency fund and paid off about 5K in 6 months of credit cards, okay? I have about 5K left in credit cards. Then I will tackle my car loan and student loans. That sounds good so far. I'm currently still a full-time student with 1 year left. I don't need student loans anymore due to a Native American tuition waiver that just passed at my school. Great. Congratulations. I work full-time for a school district and work part-time sales job on Friday after work and on the weekends. I just started this part-time job. Come on. There we go. Just started this part-time job because I've been paying off debt quickly, and wanting to pay it off quicker has been addicting. That's great. That is what it's supposed to turn into. I'm on week 3 of no days off, and I'm starting to feel the burnout, specifically with no motivation to do my schoolwork due to working every day. Well, that's not very good. Should I remove the part-time job even though it's helping me pay off debt quicker? So the problem is, if you're going to remove the part-time job and still feel burned out and not do your schoolwork, then removing the part-time job, then that's just an excuse at that point that you don't want to do schoolwork anymore. And not wanting to do schoolwork happens. So that depends on you. Or you could plow through it, which is the general. That's what we call gazelle intent. You are plowing through stuff. It's not forever. It's just for a hashtag season. I know Dave would say no, but I need to finish my school, and who knows how long this tuition waiver will stick around. Well, the tuition waiver's got nothing to do with it. Then if it goes away, you would just cash flow school, but you don't have to do that right now because they're paying for it. You only have 1 year left, so what does it matter about when the tuition waiver? I wouldn't imagine they would get rid of it with only in the same year. They're going to get rid of it. I don't think they would. But yeah, you're young. You can power through it. How old? Doesn't say how old. But theoretically, if it's swag surfing 23, maybe 23 years old. So you're 23, you ought to be able to handle it. So, and why not? That's fine. If you have time to do the work, get 7-8 hours of sleep, and time to do your schoolwork, but nothing else, that's fine to do for a year. Do that. Do that. Oh, that's not the right one. It's that one. There we go. Oh, let's see if this will be a quick one. Opportunity to move baby steps. I'm going to stay home with baby. Would you take it? Probably. Oh, now I got to do it. Husband and a 31 man and I 30F have a big question to make, and it feels a little pivotal. We just had our first baby, and I'm currently on maternity leave, scheduled to return to work in May. We have no debt except mortgage, and I own a small business. That my husband operates the day to day. Okay, we pay him a set amount bi-weekly, and the rest goes back into the business to cover expenses and cushion the account. It has to be profitable beyond paying your husband. Has to be profitable. If it's not, it's just a hobby. He has an opportunity to work for someone else doing what he's doing now, and would make what he and I currently make combined. Would include help. Yeah, I would do that and stay on with baby. Yeah, do that. Close the business. Sell or close the business. And he can do that. That was easy. Alrighty, once again, Coach Steve Money. Ramsey Solution Certified Financial Coach, not just some guy in a red shirt just yelling on YouTube. No, actually Ramsey Solution Certified Financial Coach. How about that? You can schedule a free financial coaching consultation assessment with me at calendly.com/coachstevemoney. That is a video conferencing appointment, so you can do that anywhere in the whole wide world. You can email me about coaching or anything else on my YouTube channel. coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Channel donations, paypal.me/coachstevemoney. Alternatively, Cash App, Coach Steve, Coach Steve Money, excuse me, or Walmart gift card to Coach Steve Money @gmail.com. Also super chats, also super thanks. Yeah, and you can add me on the gram @Coach Steve Money, and the YouTube channel is youtube.com/Coach Steve Money. Reminder: I'll be here again tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. That is Sunday, March 31st. And I will be doing the same thing, answering your financial questions. Also, this coming week, Wednesday, April 3rd, also Thursday, April 18th, I will be doing the Ramsey Show After Show, which contains some of these questions, but I do talk about a bunch of other stuff regarding Ramsey and finances as well. Alrighty. Got over 1,000 subscribers very recently, and now I'm up to like over 1,040, and got 18 hours I think to get to the 4,000 in the past year, so very close to getting fully monetized as well. And thank you for everybody that has watched even 1 second of me. I appreciate it, especially the Okies, the Baby Steppers, anybody else that has watched any of me doing anything on this YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Alrighty, please subscribe if you haven't, like and comment, and make smart financial decisions every day.